And if you could have lunch with a celebrity or a business icon, who would that be?
That would be Ratan Tata.
You love collecting different flavors of Hajmola.
So the Hajmola also has a story. I think I would be a house husband.
Oh, really? Welcome to the Advantage Engage, a podcast focused on talking to leaders in different industries and getting inspired by them and learning from them. I'm your host. My name is Smriti. I'm the co founder and COO of AdvantageClub.ai, which is an employee experience platform focused on rewards, recognition, well being, and general employee engagement. So today we have an amazing person with us in Mumbai. I would like to welcome Dr. Harpreet Singh. Welcome, Harpreet. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Smriti. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for joining us today. And I know it's crazily raining, and I really appreciate you coming all the way here and meeting us to do this podcast with us today.
Thank you for keeping the venue very close to my office.
Yeah, well, this is also very close to our office, so it works out for both of us. Dr. Harpreet, I mean, we know a lot about you, but we'd love the audience to learn more about your journey and your background. So, your journey spans over 25 years, and you've had so much experience across so many industries, including insurance, banking, technology, and you're back in insurance again. So, which is interesting, right? Typically, you don't see people jump from tech to banking to finance to bank to tech and all of that. So, would love to understand your journey, your past experiences, and how you've landed up in the insurance industry.
uh, so very honestly, if you look at it from my perspective, when I started my corporate career, I was the black sheep in the family.
Oh.
So I was the only one who started a career in services. So I'm from a business family.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because then, as a business family, did you face that challenge that usually business families don't, they look down upon people going into a job, right? I know because my husband is from a business family, and when he started working in Microsoft, everyone was like, why? So, we'll have to know about that.
So yeah, so that's what I said. So the disadvantage with me was that I got myself educated beyond the expectation of the family. So in my family, normally you start working after 12th. If you complete your graduation, that's like a bonus. But if you don't complete it, it's doesn't matter because you've got your business set, you have your businesses, you're running your businesses. So I got into engineering. I completed my engineering and sort of decided that let me run the business. I ran the business for around 4.5 years, but then said that I would want to start my corporate journey and make it on my own. So amazing experience while running business. My entire family is in the business cycle. All my brothers. So I'm still the only one who who is in the service. But the beauty of it is that after reaching a certain designation, uh, all my cousins and my family members start coming for me from my advice, saying that they would not want their kids to be in the business, but would want to become a doctor or a marketer or a banker or an investment banker or something like that. So I became after some. So while I agree with you and echo the thought that your husband would have had, I initially in the first 10 years, odd years, when I was starting my journey and the salaries were less, you used to be looked upon saying that, oh, this much, you could have made much more with but slowly and steadily the tide turns. And then the kids started becoming bigger and they said that we would not want to go into these traditional businesses. What is this? I mean, one shop, you operating out of one shop or one place, sitting the entire day. I don't like it. I want a corporate culture. I want so many people to meet. I want to socialize. I want to go out off sites. I want to have an amazing office. I want co-curricular activities. I want a Saturday, Sunday off. But when you have business, you're 24/7.
24/7.
So I think those things started playing into the minds, and all of those people now start coming back to me saying that should they do, which college should they send them to, which course should they do, which role should they take, which is the most happening industry. Should they go into data analytics or should they go into cyber crime or something or the other, security? And yeah, so it's been a good overall experience.
So you were like the initiator in your family, and now everybody looks up to you. Whoever wants to do a corporate career, it's not a taboo anymore.
Not a taboo anymore. So yeah, so whatever abuses by the elders were
You
hurled
absorb them
towards
all.
me, I've absorbed it. Now everybody is very open and free to take up the career they want. So yeah, so I think that's one thing which, and I actually did not think about which career to move in. So normally people say that you generally tend to plan your career, but I'll tell you very honestly, people think now that I've planned my career and I moved from here to here to here to here. So I started in sales, moved into training. From training, I moved into learning and development, content creation. From content creation, I moved into back office operations. From there, I moved into HR. So people say you strategically move from sales to training to back end operations to HR, but none of this was planned. It just happened. It just happened. People told me that this needs to be done. I said, I will do it. Who wants to do it? I would do it. So I think that's how I got these things, and that's how I progressed the way I have progressed.
Do you
And
think
God's
your
been kind.
business experience of 4 years really helped you in your corporate career as well? Because you saw like both sides of the coin.
I think absolutely. There's a famous coin that I normally use, and that's something which has come to me from my business days. I've seen my fair of successes and failures in those. And similarly, in the business world as well as the corporate world, there's nobody who can have a straight up line. You have your ups and downs. But one coin face which remains with me is business teaches you a lot. Okay, because that's your business. You're 24/7 accountable for it. There's nobody else who can answer. I think that is something which I've applied in my corporate career also. There's a term that I normally use, and people who would know me, uh, the moment they will hear this, they will know that this is Harpreet talking. I use a frame, something called as P2P, and P2P stands for Peon to President. Uh,
I use C2C, chairman to chaprasi. It's the same.
oh, nice. So then you in business, so you can,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is something which I use, which is Peon to President. So if there is some work which needs to be done,
Hmm.
you are the peon, and if there is some decision which has to be taken in an absence to get the work done, even if you are an executive, you are the president.
Correct.
I think that is something which has stayed with me, and this is how I empower my team also, saying that, boss, if the work has to be done, it has to be done. And the terminology that I normally use is, if I have a shop and if the sweeper does not turn up in the shop in the morning, will I open the shop as it is, or if I will have to clean it? I'll pick up the broom and clean it, because I can't not stop working. And I can't have my customers coming in and seeing a dirty shop. It's my shop. So I think same way about your career, your corporate, and that's about it. That's how you start. That's been my mantra. And
I think it also teaches you a lot of customer obsession. And that really helps you, especially in HR. Like when you go there, you start getting obsessed with excellence, whether it is for, so as an HR, your customers are your employees. Or if you are running sales, then your customers are the people who your sales folks are reaching out to. So it also teaches you a lot of customer obsession and empathy on top of it as well.
I think, yeah, empathy is something which is very important. I think especially because you are the chief people officer. You are the custodian of the people, be it the customers or be it the employees. If you do not have empathy, you will not be able to survive in today's world, especially with the Gen Z, millennials. This is the first time that you have all the four or five generations working together, from your baby boomers to your Gen Zs and X and Y, and I don't know what all names. I've kept start forgetting the count of it.
We have Gen Beta.
Now I don't know. So initially there used to be a world called as VUCA world. Now I'm hearing there's something called as Bani world. There's some more fancy words which keeps on coming up. So yeah, so that's, I think, navigating through all of these things, the most important piece is having empathy. If you have empathy, rest everything falls in place.
Yeah. You put up a very good point on so many generations working together, right? And especially as an HR leader from so many years, you would have seen those generations come in and more are coming in as well. So, do you think there are certain challenges which the HR community is trying to navigate to have all of these generations work together? Because a baby boomer would not understand what a Gen Z is trying to say, or now we have Gen Alphas coming in the future as well. So, how do you navigate those challenges, and what kind of issues have you faced?
See, I'll tell you very honestly, you're right. Uh, so baby boomers have gone through those depression phases where they saw the depression, early depression, the industrial revolution coming in. Very hardworking, 14, 15 hours, 16 hours, working every day throughout 7 days a week. Plus, then after that, the new guys coming in a little slightly different. Some technology came in. So yes, there are issues and challenges. Uh, why look at workforce? Look at in your family, na? If you have a big family, and everybody has, while now the single family culture is very predominant, but still you have family. You in marriages or in occasions you get together. So you have your dada dadis or your parentals who would act very differently. Now, what do you do? And then your parents, and then your elder siblings, and then you, and then your cousins, younger cousins, or their children. So you have the entire piece there itself. So it's not only applicable to the corporate world. I actually related saying that if you feel it at home, you bring it in the office. Okay. So how do you interact with your grandparents? Tells you how do would you want to do it with the people who are working with. And similarly, how do you interact with the parents? Again, two things: respect, empathy. If these two things are in place, I think rest everything falls in place. So if you have the respect and you respect the right people, everybody for that matter, and then you have empathy, like we talked about. So empathy will tell me that if I am walking in the person's shoes and he's a 21-year-old, my son, I've asked him to do something. He got a pre-placement offer. Uh, he he did that for around 6 7 months. In those 6 7 months, he told me at least 60 70 times that I don't like though. Now what do I do? Say, okay, do your path. So what is he doing today? He's creating content similar to what we're doing. His reel just got viral, I think some 4 5 days back. Now he's got 10 or 15 job offers from various companies. He's saying that now where do I want to go? Do I want to work, or do I want to collab? There are companies which are collabing with him right now. So I don't know what. So the only thing is that you can trust them. You can sort of have empathy with them, and you respect them. I think that's the only thing which I feel.
No, that's very interesting. And yeah, the next gen also has like so many other avenues to earn. So corporate job or a business is not are not the only two options in life anymore. So there's
But see, that was very different for us.
yeah.
We never had our homes. Thankfully, I've been blessed for that matter. But a lot of my friends and my this thing, they had to create their own home. They had to create their own space. Now, thankfully, the children, everything is there. They have a house. They have all the benefits. So whatever money is coming is for them to spend.
Yeah, your basics are taken care
Yeah,
of.
so the basics are taken care of. So I
Mm.
think that's a very different generation altogether. You have to relate to it. And therefore, you have to create different avenues, strategies to engage them separately. So I think that's where you coming from, saying that how do I relate? And we do that beautifully in the organization. Yeah.
Interesting. So you've had such a long career path, and before that, you were also handling a business. Um, Reaching to where you are today, obviously, it does come with its own share of highs and lows, more lows, less highs. So, uh, were there any moments where you felt you were truly tested as an individual? If yes, what were they?
So I have multiple instances. First was when I moved from the business to a job. That was one of the biggest ones. And then from moving from sales to training to, so all of those have their own highs and lows. Uh, but in my last stint with India Post Payments Bank, so I can give you an example here. I think the transition from a complete corporate culture, which is an ICICI to a Kotak to a Birla group and all of those, to now Ministry of Communication under the Prime Minister's office. And this was a special project which was taken. So we were directly scouted and handpicked by the Prime Minister's office to head up the India Post Payments Bank. So the objective was आपका अंगूठा. Okay, so this is a very strategic, bold step which was taken, saying that अब आपका अंगूठा will not be a nishani of you being an illiterate, but will be your gateway to your financial freedom, which is your bank account. So you don't need any documentation, you don't need anything. Just your angutha will operate your account, and your dakia, will be your private banker. So there's time when Citibank used to have private banking, where ultra HNI customers used to have a private banker assigned to you, and they will come to your house. So here was the idea saying that आपका बैंक आपके द्वार. That was the tagline that we sort of, that was the scope, that was the vision. And Har Bank Aapke Dwar. So the idea is that all 7 lakh villages who has an access to a dakia, which is around 3.5, 4 lakh dakias, 1,55,000 post offices, serving 7 lakh villages and 140 odd crore population, getting served by one of the largest bank in the world at the doorsteps.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think that was, and that was the vision, which was such a big vision, with an organization which was not corporate, and we 4 5 people were handpicked from outside, from corporates. Rest everybody was government officials. So the CTO, the chief product officer, the chief operating officer, and me as the HR head, for navigating, because the idea was to, how do you transform such a big legacy based organization to a agile and a startup mode organization. So I think that was something which was phenomenal. And my biggest learnings till date has been through that. Very challenging, struggled a lot, uh, fell down so many times because there was so much of things to be done, so much of approvals to be taken. But it was an immense learning, immense learning.
Yeah, no, I remember once I walked into a very large government office. I'll not name them, but the very large company in India. So I was meeting one of their senior HRs to partner with them. And I walked in an office and there were 3 people just chatting, just walk and you overhear people chatting. So one of them was like, "Sir, क्या कर रहे हैं आजकल? फाइलें वाइलें मूव नहीं हो रही." So the other one tells him that, "क्या बोल रहे हो आप? फाइलें रोकना भी एक काम होता है." So I was like, okay, I literally walked in a government office. I could feel that vibe. But it is challenging to navigate, especially for approvals and making things move fast. I think that would have been a different experience
But
altogether.
believe you me, I now, after coming out of there and navigating through whatever, believe you me, this myth about government organizations being slow, uh, too much documentation, is a myth. It's a myth. Believe you me, what all I experienced in those 3 years, they have better policies, they have better processes, they have better recording mechanisms.
That is true. That is very
Uh,
true.
and if you know how to work the system, you can make it work super fast, even better than any corporate organization. But you just know how to make it work.
Yeah, so one of my very dear friends, he works with NPCI, and I was blown away with the kind of technology they've built internally and the way they document things, the way things move, and how you have such sacrosanct data. It's just that was an eye opener for me as well because I did not, yeah.
One of the biggest challenges that we faced was, uh, educating your dakiyas. The average age of a dakiya would be around 50. Okay. So some would be 55, 56, 57, some would be 40. So around 45 to 50 is an average age. All are in tier 2, 3, 4, 5 below cities. 60% of the population still operates your keypad phones. So your Nokia or other Micromax XYZ keypad phones, that 800, 900 rupees. Now, giving them a smartphone along with a biometric machine, enabling all the banking services. So, by the way, if you today go to a Dakia, catch hold of a Dakia, he can do at least 15 things. He can open an account for you in 180 seconds,
Oh, really? Okay.
give you the debit card for that account immediately, okay, without any documents. You only need your PAN card and your Aadhaar card and authenticated and your mobile number OTP, okay. He can withdraw cash for you immediately from any bank account using your, even if you don't have your wallet or debit card.
That is so good for people who are not that literate and have challenges generally going to a bank account. I think this is really good for them.
So you just need your thumb,
Yeah.
which will authenticate. You will get a OTP in your mobile phone, which you will give it to a Dakia, and he'll give you the 10,000 rupees, till 10,000 rupees that you need in any village, any province. He can deposit money for you in your account. Okay. He can sell you mutual funds. He can sell you cattle insurance. He can sell you life insurance. You can do SIPs with him. You can buy a general insurance from him. So all of these things are now available with your Dakia, and he can do it online.
Yeah, and I've seen in the past blue collars do this via agents. So there are like these small shops who act as agents. Like my house help used to do that, but then they take a cut out of it. So they take a commission out of that person's salary to deposit the salary or to withdraw money. And I think this really fixes that friction of people having to pay to just access their own money. So that's, I think, great
So I
work.
think the biggest challenge was, how do you transform this entire workforce into a digital banker? They've been so used to being a dakia throughout the life, and believe you me, and it's only tech. Um, and that's what I say, that that's this myth that the tech and all those things is substandard or XY.
No,
Mind
tech, I
blowing.
think this government has made it very, very well. Yeah, there are frictions in the process, things move slower, but I think technology wise, especially if you look at Aadhaar's technology, it's amazing. Like all of us, without realizing, we use things like DigiYatra. We don't realize what an amazing technology it is. So I really am very, very pro the technology this government has created, and I'm very glad things have moved the way they've moved now. And that's great. And I think from your personal journey perspective also, if you could look back at your younger self 25 years ago, what is that one advice you would give yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think the first advice that I would give myself is start slow.
You think you started very fast?
I started very fast. I joined in and I said, Dad, I want to be the CEO directly. So I said, now you are old. You take a back seat. I will take charge and do everything. So I think somewhere or the other,
That new energy,
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I've realized certain things in life. And these are certain communities which do it very, very. So the Gujaratis and the Marwadis, if you look at it, they may have, whoever their son or daughter may be, however rich they would be, they will start saying that, oh, first go down mein kaam karo. Okay, first do bookkeeping first for the first 1 or 2 years. Then you slowly and steadily rise along there, and then you reach a exec. I think there's a lot of merit to it.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
married to a Marwadi family
yeah.
can attest to that. Correct.
So yeah, so at that point in time, हमें लगता था, I used to feel that, come on, I know everything, yeah. I have fresh ideas. I will do this. I will do that. Let me do this. Let me do. But then slowly and steadily you realize that, boss, you need some time. You can't just do it. Everything doesn't happen on its own. So everything which gets created over a period of time. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. And
And enjoying it also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And there's certain things which you learn with time, with experience. And no matter how much you think you know, you have to spend that time to actually get that in the right manner. When you're young and you start something, you feel like you can change the world, but then things are not that black and white. Most of the times they're gray. So you have to navigate those gray areas on your own. Now that's amazing. And I think from your experience standpoint, also managing massive organizations has not been easy, right? If you look at India Post Bank, it had about 2-3 lakh employees. Also, even now we are at Kotak Life. It's around 50,000. How many employees are
So
there?
around 13 odd thousand, 30 to 14,000 full-time employees, and the remaining are contractual or part-time employees. So close to around 40,000 plus.
40,000 plus, and that's also huge, right? So when you're kind of scaling up to this massive of an organization, how do you manage such a large scale? And even in your current company, for example, um, looking at what would work for a full timer might not work for a part timer. So different ways of engaging different types of employees would be needed. So how do you manage that scale?
See, I'll tell you very honestly, and HR folks would definitely know about this. There's something called a situational leadership that we talk about. Sit lead, as the name says. It says different strokes for different folks. Okay, that's the baseline, saying that you can't have the same way of managing people. Everybody is different, so you can't be the same person that you are. You have to change with. So I think that's the same with the workforce. You can't manage a comp CNB R&R incentive structure for a full-time employee versus a contractual employee versus a part-time employee is can't be the same.
How would you differentiate it if you would give a couple of examples?
So let me give you an example. When you're a full-time employee, what motivates you? Okay, you're full-time, you're dedicating yourself. And this is my personal opinion. What motivates me is my fixed,
Hmm.
not my variable.
Okay.
My variable can be little less also, but my fixed has to be high. Why? Because my self-worth is determined by the salary that the company gives me and the designation that is given to me.
Hmm.
Okay?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Tying your self worth to your fixed and your desic.
Because
Hmm.
see, that is what people, that's the society that we are in. And they're, oh, you are at 1 crore plus. Oh my God, that's a different level. You are at this level. Acha, you're at this level. Oh, nobody asks you how many people you report into, how many big. There was a time when that used to happen. Okay. Now the things have changed. Now, basically, people know your self worth with what your designation is. Let me give you an example. Investment banker, uh, having nobody reporting it to them, but managing account for, let's say, a Shah Rukh Khan, Ajay Jadeja, and a couple of 3, 4 more people would be earning 10 or 15 times more than any normal relationship manager. So, why? And nobody reporting into them.
Because
You,
of your client. Hmm.
so you're an individual, this thing, your salary may be 50 lakh rupees, 60 lakh rupees. The branch manager, normal branch manager gets 10 or 12 lakh rupees. So it is now the net worth is known by basically the CTC that you demand. Okay. So that's your fixed salary for a full time employee. Now, a part time employee will not get this thing by a designation. He wants or she wants flexibility in that whenever I want to do whatever I want to do. So, for him or her, flexibility is more important. So, I will only incentivize the number of the efforts that he's putting in. I am not going to pay a CTC very high. The CTC would be very nominal just for the face of it. The incentives would be so huge that the person is able to give me as much time as possible. So I think it's a very different ballgame altogether. Okay. Because you understand, if the variable is very high for a salaried employee, I am basically mobilizing him to become a part time employee.
Correct.
You
Correct.
understand?
Correct.
Why will he work with me saying that if this is my CTC and this is my variable, then why would I need also this also? I will then take this much as variable, na,
And it'll
and
give me
move into a.
flexibility to work on
Yeah,
my time, on my terms as
absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Why am I fixed is because I have a designation, I have a brand, I have a CTC. And obviously, if the guy performs, you keep on increasing. If the guy doesn't perform, there's a performance management system for it.
And that's interesting. And I think life insurance, especially when you're looking at sales employees, it's even more interesting, right? It's a very hard sell, like you said when we were speaking earlier. So, how do you incentivize people to stay in life insurance? And can you talk about the right strategies to drive the right incentive programs for them?
So I talked about the CTC piece.
Hmm.
So I think you're aware of how
Correct.
we deal with the frontline and
Correct.
the variable and the fixed employees sort of set. Uh, See, insurance is a very it's a uh, it's a push industry. It's not a pull industry where people would come in and sort of want to buy. I look at a Versace bag or a BMW. I'm sort of attracted. When will I get there and all that stuff. So it's
And I think, unlike health insurance, life insurance is even harder because you anticipate falling sick. Nobody wants to think, what will I do after I die? So it's hard to think about.
something which is intangible, na? Because it is something that is going to be given when you are not there. Okay, people don't look it from an investment perspective. So I think from that angle, it's a very push product. You will sell it with their families, X, Y, Z. What drives behavior or what sets up a culture is the leaders. Okay, my philosophy is that if you have put the right compensation for your leader to drive the right behaviors, is where the entire field force falls in place. So, be it your governing mechanisms, but most important, your R&R.
Hmm.
Okay, for the readers,
For the sale leader.
for the leaders,
Hmm.
because if that is not compelling enough for them to drive a behavior the way that they want to, it's a team working. So insurance or any other sales is probability, correct? You will go on 10 sales call, out of which 3 will agree to say, okay, show me the product. Out of 3, 1 will say yes. And that's how numbers. So we say prospecting, it's suspecting and prospecting, and then basis that. So you will meet 100 clients, out of that maybe 5 clients will mature. It's the same sales cycle for everything. The difficulty only increases here. So how do you drive and keep the staff motivated, saying that saying hearing no uh, is music to the ears. Okay, so if a guy can actually derive pleasure in hearing no,
In getting rejected.
is the guy who will be able to be the most successful guy in
Right.
not in insurance, in any industry for that
Yeah.
matter.
No, I've seen that a lot in sales, especially. Like, people get demotivated very fast, especially young folks who start getting into sales. They hear three or four no's and then they're like, I am depressed, I'm demotivated. And then you have to motivate them. You have to tell them you have to be self motivated. Nobody's going to come from outside and motivate you. So it is a hard place to be in, especially in life insurance, I think, where you get more no's than ever.
So yeah, so the leaders have to be incentivized and done very, very differently. So for this to happen, I mean, and that's where we were discussing also saying that from a culture-based incentive structure or variable structure or a performance structure, how do you move to a performance-based culture? Uh, and believe you me, somewhere or the other, I feel that if you get that right, everything falls in place. Okay. And I'll give you an example. So there is this, we had a earlier tie up with Old Mutual. So we were called as Old Mutual, Kotak Mahindra Old Mutual. And there was this top advisor there called as Edion Duplay. Edion Duplay had a mantra saying that uh, see 5 faces, let's go places. So the idea basically, and he's like one of the toppest advisors. So he has a mansion, he has a private plane. Uh, I hope he's there. I don't know if he, because at that point in time, this is 2005 when we were there in Kotak, that we used to hear his stories. So, and we used to train people on it. So he had a private plane. So his clientele, he used to basically fly it for his clientele to cover them for life insurance. Uh, his mantra was that see five faces, let's go places. So the day that he would not meet five new people, as a penalty, he will not sleep in his house, in his bed.
What?
Yeah. So he may sleep in his limousine, which was parked in his driveway, but as a self
Goal.
limiting thing,
Yeah.
stating that this is a behavior I want to drive, he would not.
Every day, like five new
Every
people
day,
every
five
day.
new people every day.
Wow.
He that's it. That's about it.
Considering we all have days where we don't even want to see five family members in a day, and he wants to see five new people every day. That's crazy.
So that's, I think that's the culture that you want to build, and then basis that, then you pay for that performance. I think that's something which is very critical.
No, that's very interesting, and you put up a very good point, like how companies are now moving from culture-led rewards. Of course, culture-led rewards has kind of become status quo today. So earlier it used to be a nice to have. Now culture-led rewards are a must-have. Now the next step to it is moving towards performance-led rewards, and it's not just for sales folks. I think it's for every group, every team, wherever you have KPIs or trackable metrics you could run performance led rewards. So would love to know more about your thoughts on that, because like personally I feel that instead of during an annual appraisal telling a person that hey, you did a great job 6 months ago, you when you go back in time and when that great job is actually happening, you give them the right performance led reward for that KPI being completed. So would love to hear your thoughts on what are the right ways people can drive performance led rewards, and are there any industry nuances you would want to add to him?
So I'll again give you examples. I won't quote the name of the companies, but there are companies which are very agile in rewarding. Okay. Agile to the sense that they even reward before they start. Okay. And then they cover up saying that you've done this. Okay. This is one more. You've done this. This is one more. Let me give you an example. Let's take so in one of this piece, uh, a region had a very high attrition issue. Okay. So there was a task force which was assigned. A task force consisting of some HO guys, some field guys, and those HO guys were deployed there for 3 months.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So it's not that a strategy gets created in HO and then it is sent across via mail. Webinar happens and somebody shares that this is something that we are launching and this is how we are going to go about it. And then you track it after 3 months. Let's see what happens and all that stuff. No, you've given 3 months. You've given a budget saying that XYZ move out, saying that this is the case scenario. In 3 months, if you are able to demonstrate this is what you get. And that's it. And it's not an annual bonus or a half yearly bonus.
You predefine the KPIs and you predefine the rewards you would get
So
once
see,
you do that.
there are basically two things in performance. One is your annual steady by steady performance, and then there are roadblocks which are there in a performance. And as an owner, as a founder, you would know that more than me. Okay. Now, having that mentality, so you're a business, you will get to know that this is a regulation which has come in right now. You will set up something and solve it immediately, correct? But when it's a very big organization, how do you create that culture in the same? You will spend whatever money is there that needs to be spent. But when there are business heads and XYZ and they have budgets and all of that is not in their hands, how do you empower them is what is more critical from a comp and ben perspective, from a R&R philosophy perspective. So having a kitty of something like this for roadblocks is something which I envisage helps a lot. So just imagine somebody from HO, 10 people going there, hotel cost, XYZ, whatever, taken care of, everything taken care of. You have unlimited authority to give whatever you want to ensure, but you have to solve this and come back in 3 months. So identify the root cause, correct it, do whatever is required, solve it, and come back.
Wow. Yeah, and that also I think brings me back to that point of scale, right? How do you drive the right ROI at scale. And this performance led reward culture can really help do that as well. Plus, it's a direct impact on the top line. So, budgeting becomes easy, budget approvals become easy as well, because everybody wants to eventually work towards the top line of the company.
See, the idea is that, especially in scale, what happens is that actually there's a lot of advantage of scale, is that you have humongous budgets available. You just need to ensure that the right people are getting the right money. And the people who are not doing it, uh, somewhere or the other, needs to be taken into account. That's about it. If that is done, you have unlimited things available at your disposal. So that's the beauty of it also. While I understand there's a challenge, because scale, there's a lot of complications which comes across the scale, but that's the beauty of it from a budgeting perspective. I have humongous budget available with me to do whatever experiment I can.
Yeah, yeah, because eventually it helps drive the business, and everybody will do whatever it takes to drive the business. Amazing. And I think from your personal perspective, also, my team did a little bit of research on you. So I think you describe yourself as analytics crazy. So, of course, analytics is something we all very much believe in, but just from the audience's standpoint, um, where do you think? Maybe in certain examples you could give where you feel data analytics and the right mapping of data has really helped you make a major HR decision.
Okay. So, yeah. So, in my LinkedIn profile, that's one of the headings that I describe myself as. Uh, so, let me give you an example. And so, in the previous question, we were discussing, you shared something that there's some sales function has definitely KPIs, but not how do you ensure that proper R&R is given across to all the functions, even though they're not defined KPIs. So, I slightly disagree to that. If you logically look at it, that's where the analytic part comes in. If you're able to define it properly, every role has a proper defined way of tracking effectiveness. Okay. The only thing is you have to get deep down. So let me take my example. Now, HR function is a function which is known as uh, fuzzy. We will do Zumba and we will do yoga sessions and we will do rangolis.
Rangoli
Uh,
meme, oh my god.
you've seen those memes.
Yeah,
I think that lady is viral. What's that?
Shraddha. I
Shraddha.
use Shraddha,
So
yeah.
Shraddha is viral with this saying that, oh, HR is known for rangolis. And believe me, that's uh, and that's how do you get a seat on the table,
Hmm.
is when you're able to define and actually showcase that you mean business. Okay. And that is where that data and analytic comes in. Uh, so in HR function, in all the functions which are there, be it comp and ben, be it performance, be it hiring, talent acquisition, talent management, I have a personalized HR health scorecard. Okay. Every metric is defined. So there's nothing which is gray. It is either black or it is white. From a posh cases, number of posh cases, to how many employees are falling ill, to PF cases, ESI cases, some lawyer, so the legal cases, from the hiring numbers to the retention numbers to learning and development impact, all of those things which a lot of people say that, oh, how can I measure the training session impact on productivity XYZ? We have a scorecard for each and everything with clearly defined targets. And a scorecard is rolled out every month for every HRBP. We do not do quarterly appraisals. We do monthly appraisals. There's a scorecard which comes in. It shows your rating and it shows everybody's rating on each parameter. Okay. So all those, and it's completely transparent. So that later on, nobody can come back to me saying that, Harpreet, how was I rated as meeting expectation, whether this person who is sitting right next to me is rated as an outstanding. We've done the same work. We've done X, Y, Z. No. And this is where my uh, the craziness of me being a analytical driven guy comes in. And this is again a phase which I love. And this was not quoted by me. I got to know it from a very senior and a very respected gentleman called as Gaurang Shah, who was the MD of Kotak Life before, and he's currently at the board of directors and is managing a lot of businesses for Kotak. In one of the reviews with him, he categorically told me this. So I was making a presentation, and I love fancy all other stuff. So fancy presentation with amazing bullet points and PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, yeah. And he looked at it, like, good, good. And he saw everything. And then after that, he rogered me, saying that, how are you substantiating? These are things that you're telling me. How is substantiating it?
Mm.
So he told me one thing, and which I completely live by right now. He said, Harpreet, I only believe in two things. I said, boss, yes, tell me. बोलता है, I will believe you if you are God. Okay. Or second, if you will provide me the right data to prove back you.
Mm.
Okay. So bring me the data, show me the data, I will believe you, or prove that you are God. If you prove you're God, then whatever you say, I am okay with. But if you can't prove that you're God, then you better come to me with data to prove that whatever you're saying is making sense. This fuzzy feeling saying that I will do a Rangoli and something will happen. Do a Rangoli. Who's stopping you? Do a Zumba class, do a yoga session, but show it to me that it will lead to a impact on something, on happiness quotient or productivity or attrition. I don't know. Prove it to me. So those are things that I'm a little fanatic about. So,
Data doesn't lie. So
so data can be massaged to do whatever it wants to, but yes, you're right. Data doesn't lie.
that's interesting. And this has been such an eye-opening conversation, especially a few things like uh incentivizing the leaders. That is something new I learned today. So, and I'm sure our audiences would have learned like a lot of new things through our conversation today. uh, while we wrap up, I have a few fun rapid fire questions for you. So my first question for you is, if you were not in HR, what would have been your alternate career path?
I think I would be a house husband.
Oh, really? I would have never in 1,000 years guessed that.
So yeah,
Coming from a business family.
so I would definitely be a house
Another
husband.
black sheep thing you do, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And yeah, my co-founder and my husband Saurabh sometimes says that. He's like, you know what? I think once we're done with this, once either we go IPO or we get an exit, I will sit at home. You work. He's like, I am done.
So I keep on telling my wife this. I go, why don't? And she's very talented, okay, and she keeps on doing so many things. But somewhere or the other, she starts something very proactive, very this thing, and then she loses steam. So I keep on telling her, you have so much potential, and she's amazing in business. Believe you me. I mean, I can guarantee and tell you this, that if she starts something and takes it to the end, na, she will make it very big. So I keep on telling her. So she has a clothing line right now. So she, along with a partner, and I tell her that, yeah, why don't you make it big?
So that I
I
can be
mean,
free.
so,
That's very interesting. Okay, my next question is, if you had an unlimited HR budget, where would you invest it?
okay, if I have, that's a tricky one. Because some money is something you normally don't get. So if I have unlimited budget, uh, I think somewhere or the other, I will earmark some of it for the empathy piece that I talked about. A portion which gets invested into some good investments, through which the returns I can actually keep it as a pool for the family of my employees. Something so, and something which it's like your trust fund, You have these trust fund babies where you have something which keeps on coming back. So any employee who's a part of our family knows that the company has your back no matter what.
That is so sweet. I think that's a beautiful thought, and I've seen a few companies try to do that, like have an employee pool where people can donate some money for other employees who would be in need. This is probably the end game to that thought process.
So there was another thought that we sort of had, and there were some out companies where implemented it, whereas that as employee, you can donate your leaves. Okay, so if there's an employee in need, one of the earlier companies, there was a guy who had cancer and he needed blocked leaves and expires and he didn't have it. So a lot of employees, friends came together and donated some 100, 200 leaves and sort of took care of him throughout his journey. I think those are things which are very
It really brings out the human in nature. So yeah, no, amazing. And if you could have lunch with a celebrity or a business icon, who would that be?
that would be Ratan Tata. And I know that's option is not available, but I think that guy is a gem. And I think the reason for that would be the humility, which and the care that he has. So I think that is something which is unsurpassable in the amount, and especially the Tata Group and what it stands for.
Yeah, yeah. No, we work with a lot of Tata Group companies and they're phenomenal. Their culture is amazing, and it's strange how the culture more or less remains similar across all the companies. Like while they have their own flavor to it, but end of the day, the entire Tata Group has built, I think, done a great job at building culture. Okay, my next question is, what is the funniest excuse you've heard of somebody asking you for a leave?
Yeah. This has to be the new generation. And there's this guy who comes in and says that, Harpreet, and these guys are very straightforward these days. I mean, they can say anything to you. He said, I want to leave. I have to go out on a date with my, and he's saying that and the reason it is I need it because I'm proposing to her.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so I was like, so she's not your girlfriend. How are you going on a date? He said, but there's something called as so- I even don't know the lingos that
Situationship.
yeah, something like that. He came up with something. We have a situationship something, and now I'm gonna create this into a relationship. And I was like, my God,
Yeah,
this is
yeah. I've
crazy.
had so many people take leaves because they had a breakup, because, they had a fight with their girlfriends, and I'm like, okay. That's interesting. My next one is, what is the most unusual thing somebody has put on their resume which made you laugh or made you really have a conversation with them?
Actually, I can't recollect anything, but I do remember a CV in which the guy had not written anything.
Nothing, like blank.
So it was a blank CV, just
What?
the name,
Hmm.
and he has put across his, his what had he put across was, in the next 5 years, I want to be this,
Wow.
and that's it.
Just like one liner.
Just one line. And this was not an interview. This was more from a LinkedIn profile, sending somebody saying that, please, and very wacky line saying that, kindly go through the CV, you will not regret it. And then I opened the CV and it has a photo and it has his name and contact details. And he says, my aspiration.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
That's interesting.
And then under it was, please reach out to me if interested.
Wow. That's crazy. I've never seen a CV like that, but yeah, you have way more experience than me. Maybe I'll see one in the future. Yeah. My last question is, what is the one thing about you that most people don't know? And I'll give you one thing which I know, which a lot of people don't know, that you love collecting different flavors of Hajmola. But other than that, what is that one thing people don't?
So the Hajmola also has a story.
Acha.
Okay. So this was when I was with the Aditya Birla Group. So my cabin, my workplace, I never had a cabin then. So I had a open workplace, was right next to the dining area. Okay, so all the employees when they used to exit and go to the dining area, they used to cross my cubicle. And on the way back, they used to cross, the first thing that used to cross when they came into the office was my cubicle. So this was kept as a, so hajmolas or digestive items, those imli. So you'll find all those things in my, so this was kept as a engagement tool for me to interact with the employees. And somewhere the other it's stuck on. So what used to happen was this was kept here saying that whenever you have food, you would generally want a, imli, or you would want a candy or something or the other, or a hajmola for digestive. So that's the reason how we came up with that, and that has continued for the last 10 years.
So if you want to meet 5 new people a day, that's one way you
That's
do it.
yeah.
Cool. And
So
what's that other thing?
so a lot of people think I'm a workaholic. Okay, but what they don't know is that while I do work, I have a house which is just 10 minutes from the office, and I give enough time to my family. So, and when I'm with my family, then I'm with my family. So, yeah, so while people will feel that I don't balance work life, I revert to calls at 2 o'clock, I revert to mails at whatever time. I work every day when I'm on leave also, but it's like gymming or uh, running. So, like people run, I have to have that 1 hour every day where I have to do my work. Because if I don't, there's something which is going on in mind saying that, Harpreet, you've not done. Today, something is missing.
It also gets rid of all the noise in your head that this is pending. Let's just finish it off and then be at peace.
So, I'm a little particular about small things. So, again, old school. So, I have to create my things to do every day. So, if I don't do it on a day off, it will play to
In your
me
head.
saying that, ki, oh,
Mm.
I've not done that. I've
Mm.
not done that. So, I think
Might as well just finish it and let it stop bothering you. So I think it is what I would call work life integration for you instead of work life
absolutely.
balance.
And now, if the family is also so used to it, so I would wake up early. So if we are out of India and the kids are sleeping in late, wife is sleeping in late, I will end up a little early. By the time they are waking up for breakfast, I would have been finished and done, and then I'm there with them. So it's how we balance this thing, and I think this family has been very supportive.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing. No, this has been such an amazing conversation. I think we went over time. It didn't feel like that. We could probably talk for another 2 hours. But thank you so much, Dr. Harpreet, for your time today. And we're so happy that you joined us. And I'm sure our audiences will love hearing what you had to say today.
perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Lovely interacting with all of you, and thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
So, this was Rendezvous with Dr. Harpreet Singh from Kotak Life, and it was an amazing conversation. I'm sure you all loved it as well. And this was our second episode. We'll be coming up with more episodes soon, so stay tuned for more such amazing conversations, learning from a lot of nice leaders in the industry. Thank you.